Hey everyone, Doug here from B&H with a new lens from Olympus. This is the new Zuiko 8-25mm f4 Pro lens, and it's a compact lens designed for micro four thirds cameras. With a fixed f4 aperture, it provides one of the most common zoom ranges from the wide to normal lens while keeping things pretty small overall. That makes this lens ideal for almost any photographer who wants the range of a traditional kit lens with much better optical quality and no loss of light on the far end. Let's take a look. As a micro four thirds lens, the 8-25mm zoom range might be better understood as a 16-50mm range by those who might be used to full frame or APS-C cameras. Anyone who's grabbed a standard kit lens knows that this is one of the most common and versatile zoom ranges around, and that is for a very good reason. It covers a very impressive wide end, while the remainder of the range covers most subjects you'll find wherever you go. Unless you're looking for portraiture or longer telephoto lengths, this 8-25 covers most everyday needs. What I really like though is that it's a constant f4 lens. While this isn't as fast as I might normally like, it trades that speed for a really nice compact size that's perfect for street photography. After all, size is one of the strengths of the micro four thirds system. And to that end, I tested the lens out on the Olympus M1 Mark III. The first thing I had to know is what the wide end really looked like on this lens. 8mm is no joke when it comes to wide shots, and you can see here the lens is easily able to capture this entire roundabout. To be sure, at such a wide angle, some distortion is to be expected, so it may not be ideal for architecture, but for street photography and landscapes, it should be perfect. The other thing that surprised me was the AF response. The 8-25mm is incredibly fast to focus, and while I mostly shot through the viewfinder, I also took a couple of touch-to-focus shots that focused instantly. Now, for the most part, the images are very sharp throughout the zoom range, and you can see here in the baskets how well it handles finely detailed textures. Colors were consistently very neutral, avoiding the somewhat harsh coolness that I've found in a lot of modern lenses. I also never ran into any flaring, hazing, and almost no fringing in any shots. Olympus's Zero or Zuiko extra low reflection optical coating really does the trick here. Since this is designed for micro four thirds, you'll want to keep this lens open at f4 as much as possible, not only giving you more light, but also allowing you to get that shallower depth of field that many of us desire, if that's your thing. Shooting outside, the 8-25 feels fantastic, never weighing down or feeling bulky. That's expected in a lens of this zoom range, but it's always nice to be able to go out and not really think about it. You can get into low, tight positions, shooting pretty much anything you might find on the street. Now, to be fair, some of that length is hidden, and the only thing to note here is that this is a collapsible design. You simply twist the lens past the dot to unlock it, bringing it to its initial 8mm wide end. The good news, at least, is that it really doesn't get much longer than this, and it's actually shorter on the 25mm end. The focus ring is buttery smooth and the lens itself feels solid to hold and shoot. Getting into actual specs though, the 8-25 is pretty light at 411 grams. When collapsed, it's only 88.5mm in length, and when unlocked to 8mm, it's about 115mm, while at 25, it's 108mm. Feature-wise, the lens has a function button behind the zoom ring along with a manual focus clutch on the focus ring that lets you easily switch between autofocus and manual focus while shooting. You'll notice the distance markers are revealed when you engage MF mode. Lastly, the lens features a 72mm filter thread and ships with a lens hood and wrapping cloth. The Olympus 8-25mm is a great all-around lens that gets you the most essential range for most street and casual photography. But don't let that discourage you from using this in a professional kit either. While I did occasionally find myself wishing that it was just a little bit longer, it's the wide end in particular that is a must-have if you're a micro four thirds photographer. There just aren't that many lenses on the format that get that wide, especially in a zoom. The constant f4 aperture makes it much more versatile, and optically it looks fantastic. So that's it for the Olympus Zuiko 8-25mm f4 Pro lens. I'm Doug with B&H, and I'll see you next time.